Okay, cool. Well, good morning, everybody. Really excited to be going over this goal setting workshop with everybody. It's going to be really quick, 45 minutes or so, but we're going to break it down in a couple of different ways. Now, as always, the first thing for me, my commitment and where I'm standing from and where I'm coming from is to bring the team skill sets, value so that we can continue to grow and expand. And most importantly, what's most important to life, who we become. Because it's not about what we get, it's not about where we go, but it's who we become as human beings. What we're going to do is we're going to go over 15 minutes of some ideas as to how we can start to create a life. And then we're going to get into the actual goal setting workshop itself. Now, give me 2 seconds. Let me get a notebook myself. Great. So let's make sure this is recording this perfect. Let me share this. And now let's kick it off. So the whole idea is creation and action, because we as humans have the ability to choose what we create. It comes down to a specific level of choice and a specific level of intention consistently. Because I don't know about you guys, but I caught myself here multiple times in my life where I was happily shooting arrows without knowing where I was going. And I would get myself a year ahead wondering, what did I just do in this past year? What did I accomplish? Why am I still where I'm at? Why is my bank account where I'm at? Why haven't I gone to where I want to go to? Why haven't I seen what I wanted to see? And ultimately, it's because I found myself in this exact situation, blindfolded, shooting arrows. And yes, I also did have a smile on my face because it's all good, right? Life moves on. Just because we don't have goals, if we don't have goals, doesn't mean that life sucks. No, it's all good. But now it's bringing in that different level of intentionality so we can really set that framework moving forward. Because get this, Harvard did a study on their graduating class of 79. 84% of the entire class had set no goals at all. 13% of the class had set written goals, but not concrete plans. And then 3% of the class had both written goals and concrete plans. The 13% of the class that had set written goals, but had not created plans, were making twice as much money as the 84% of the class that had set no goals at all. Now get this, 3% of the class that had both written goals and a plan were making 10 times as much as the rest of the 97% of the class. How does it work? Who knows? It's just one of those things that you don't question. You don't ask how electricity works or how gravity works, it just does. Now, let's continue to create for ourselves. What does that look like? And this is coming from Harvard, one of the biggest business schools. 84% of the class did not. 3% of the population in general set goals. And this is what we want to bring into the team. We want to be able to bring that level of creation into what we're doing. Because we may be in this situation consistently. And again, we'll be surprised. Why have we not gotten to where we want to go? So it's about setting that goal so that we can get to where we choose to get to with the intentionality. Before we go into the goal setting workshop, there's 5 fundamentals for our creative life. We have philosophy, we have attitude, we have actions, we have results, and then we have lifestyle. Let's break them down. Philosophy, super simple. This is the personal perspective with which you live. This is the what you know. Now, what you know, beware, because what you know, you don't really know where it comes from if you don't know where it comes from. And you got to be aware of where it is taking you. The personal philosophy that we all have in life is one of those things that are going to be the fundamental groundwork. This is like in a skyscraper. The deeper the foundation of the actual skyscraper itself will dictate the height of the actual building. The philosophy that you have for your life and what you're going through consistently is going to be that dictator as to where you're going to get to. The philosophy is one of those things that we around us are always being bombarded by somebody else's philosophy. The radio, the media, the people that we're around, our friends, maybe even our teachers, their philosophy is being passed on to us, whether we know it or not. This is why it's really key. Beware of who you're spending time with. Birds of a feather flock together. If you're looking to grow and expand and become something else, whatever that means to you, you got to get around that same kind of environment. You got to surround yourself with the right information, listening to the right things, reading the right books, putting the information within yourself so you can now start to develop what your personal philosophy is. It's okay to take people's philosophy if it resonates with what we're looking to create. What's most important is for us to choose what is that creation look like specifically for us, and how am I going to now create that philosophy for myself. As Jim Rohn says, your personal philosophy is the greatest determining factor of how your life works out. A lot of people do a lot of this. And guess what? That is philosophy. They're pointing out here because they haven't looked in here. They haven't actually taken on that responsibility that we as humans have. It's the philosophy, groundwork, fundamental. Number one. Number two, attitude. This is how you feel. This is the emotional part of the human being. This is what makes humans so different. We can feel and we can choose to feel, which is the bigger aspect of it. It encompasses how we feel also about what we know. What we know is what we know. How do we feel about that? Do we even know what we know? And then comes the biggest question, how do you know what you don't know? And the kicker, the blind spots, which is where transformation starts to occur, those things that you don't know that you don't know. And in that starts to take place through action. But attitude is how you feel about what you're going through day to day. And there's 4 key determining factors for your attitude. Number one, the price you pay. Whether we're trying to get something, go somewhere, accomplish something, we all have a price to pay. The attitude that we have towards the price to pay is going to either push us forward to taking the action or not. Which brings it to the second part, the promise that the price is paying for. If you know for sure that the promise you're looking to strive for is worth it, you will pay the price. You will put in the time, you will put in the hours. But if the price itself seems too high, it's because the promise you made to yourself may be too low. Creating that promise for what your life looks like moving forward is going to make the price that you have to pay for worth every single second. So you gotta, again, come to the conclusion. What's the promise that I'm looking to create for myself? And from there, what price do I have to pay? And this also now comes around because it starts to affect how you feel about others. How do you see people that you're spending time with? What's your personal attitude towards them? Do you see them as people that are always blocking you or people that are supporting you? Which ultimately comes down to, how do you feel about yourself? And this is the kicker, because for you, what's going to determine your attitude towards others, the promise, the price, is going to be highly dependent upon how you feel about yourself. That personal dignity, knowing that you've done the absolute best you can. And because of that, I love myself, I respect myself. And in that respect for yourself, you're respecting and loving others. We can only give others what we give to ourselves and what we have ourselves. If we're looking to give other people something we don't have, you get inauthenticity and people can smell it. This personal attitude is highly connected to philosophy. Because if your philosophy is this is a dog eats dog world, well, nobody else matters. And in that, you start to see yourself in a different way. It's all about how you see the things that you feel and the things that you know. It's all about your perspective. And it all starts to get created by the activity that you're taking through life. Now, what's the reason for life? That's a big question. Maybe we can consider this, though, that the reason for life is to do, to explore, and to create the absolute best that we can. That's it. If we were to step into that realm where the only reason for life is to do the absolute best of what we possibly can, to explore, to create, to expand, what kind of activity would you be taking? If you were to step into the absolute best version of yourself, what actions would you take today? And the activity is connected to the philosophy. Because if you're just going to work just to scrape by, well, guess what? Life is just going to be one of those scraping by experiences. But if you're showing up to work if you're showing up to your spouse, if you're showing up to yourself in the absolute best, then life is gonna pay that. It's gonna give you that same experience. It comes down to our philosophy, because the philosophy that you have towards activity is gonna greatly influence the way you see yourself. If you're showing up 50% to yourself, if you're showing up 50% to your relationship, if you're showing up 50% to your work, it's gonna start to bring you down. It's those deterring factors. The human always feels best when they do their absolute best. That's it. If we can continuously do our best in whatever it is that we're doing, we're going to feel good about ourselves. And in that feeling good, we now start to take a new set of actions. And from there, life responds. Life benefits the benefactor, meaning that life is going to give you as much as you give it. So if you're giving it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, life is going to give you exactly that. If you have a plant and you don't water it, will the plant grow? Unless it's a cactus and unless it's used to growing in the desert, no, it won't grow. But if you water that plant consistently, you take care of it time and time again, guess what? The flower will bloom. So take the time. You are the creator of your life, and life is going to benefit the benefactor, meaning you. From the activity comes results. Success is a doing. There's no way that we can possibly ever get to what we're looking to achieve without the actual doing. The doing is the part that starts to reshape us. Through action comes transformation with the results that we started to have. These are the measurable progress in measurable time. A farmer does not plant the seed and goes the next day, lift up the dirt and see if it's starting to grow. No, they plant the seed, they take care of the soil, and in time, the seed starts to germinate. We have to continuously go through life in that same manner, doing the things with measurable progress in measurable time. It's really important that as you're doing something, you're looking to accomplish something, you take action consistently over a long period of time. If you do something for one day, that's one day. If you do the right things, everything's perfect for one day, but you stop, you're not going to get any sort of results. If you take the time consistently every single day, it's best to do a few key things consistently over the long term than do the consistent things in one day, because consistency is king. And then it comes into who you've become will be greatly expressed by the accomplishments you generate. Look around you. What do you see? What you see around you right now is who you have become up until right now. The actions you've taken, the philosophy you've had, the attitude you've created, all of that has gotten you to right now. The reasons for the seasons is to see what results come from the actions taken in the seasons. And we can do a whole training on this because we have seasons of life. We got the winter, we got the spring, we got the summer, we got the fall. I don't know where we're all at right now. We're all in different seasons. And just because we're in different seasons doesn't mean that we're not here all tolling the soil. There's this idea with the ants. Ants have this crazy idea where they just plow through everything. They do what they gotta do. Something gets in the way, they go around it. The first warm day of the year, they come out because they wanna get things done. They're always thinking winter in the summer and summer in the winter. We'll talk about that later. The important thing is they're always doing things with a right attitude because they have the right philosophy. And the results are the looking glass by which one can measure their philosophy, their attitude, and their activity. Sometimes we as humans, we don't take a look at ourselves and what's going on around us because it's confronting. Maybe we see things that we don't like, so we'd rather not look. They're there. But if we take a look around us and we start to see what are the things that we like, the things that we don't like, well, now you're in that place of personal responsibility where you're not to the whim of the wind. You are the one that's choosing, and you're seeing what you're choosing because of what's around you. your relationships, your experiences, your lifestyle. What you see around you is going to show you what's going on in here and what actions have been taken out here. Because don't mistake movement for activity. You could be doing a lot, but where's that activity taking you? It's like the donkey with the carrot. That donkey's thinking, I'm gonna get that carrot. But does it ever? No. Don't mistake movement for activity. The end goal of everything that we're here to do as humans is to create a lifestyle of our choosing. And now we start to take a look. How have you chosen the way in which you live your life? Right now, as you're going through where you're at, whatever season you're in, what is the lifestyle that you're now living? What priorities are you focusing in on? What values drive you? What motivates you? What are you now doing that is either leading you towards a designed life or a life of reaction? Because again, we all have the choice. We all have the ability to choose consistently, time and time again. Are you living a designed life, or is life telling you how to live your life? Because a human will is empowered by a life that fulfills the personal, the spiritual, interpersonal, and material needs of your life. That's what drives the human passion, that inspiration, that desire is the personal, the spiritual, interpersonal, meaning relationships, and material needs of life. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it's not about getting a bunch of different material things. It's not about accumulating money in the bank account. That's a byproduct. What it's about is you becoming the absolute best version of yourself. And in the process, the people around you will also start to have a different lifestyle. And then you will have a lifestyle that you've always dreamed of, AKA a designed life, a life of your choosing. So how will you bring joy, satisfaction, and uniqueness to your life? Taking in all of these 5 areas, we have philosophy, we have activity, we have attitude, we have results, and we have lifestyle. With all these key 5 areas of life, are you up until this point in time creating your life, or is life just going on because it's your choosing? So with that in place, that's the foundation. Let's now start to create our goals. So first things first, momentum. And by the way, we're all good? We're all here?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Cool.
Yeah.
So first things first, let's create and let's start to build that momentum forward. What are 5 things that you are proud of up until this moment in time? 5 things. And actually for this, put some background music on. 2 minutes, go ahead. What are 5 things that you right now are grateful for, that you've accomplished till today? They don't have to be anything big. They can be as big as you choose them to be. These are the things that, looking back, you can say, wow, that is so cool that I actually accomplished that. Maybe it can be something as simple as taking your family out to dinner to one of your favorite restaurants. Maybe something as simple as waking up consistently at the time that you've chosen to. Maybe exercising the amount of time you've chosen to. Eating the food that's working for you. Whatever that is for you, what are 5 things that today you are proud of so far? We got 1 more minute. Get present to that emotion. Get present to that pride. There's nothing wrong with feeling proud about yourself. The things you've accomplished till today are big, but we as humans are so good at looking at what's wrong that we forget what we've done that's right. And in that, we put ourselves in quicksand, I like to put it, where we are striving, we're moving forward, but because we're not acknowledging the things that we've accomplished, we don't move forward powerfully. Cool. That is 2 minutes on the dot. I see John still writing, but I'm gonna move forward. This is something that you guys are gonna be able to do consistently whenever you choose to. I got a chat message. Let's see what it says. Wisdom. Okay, cool. Thank you, Scott. Next thing. Now we're gonna take 10 minutes, and this is going to be where think about not what you think you can have, but what do you want? And start to write down a list of at least 50 things that you want in the next 10 years. And again, this isn't what you think you can have. This isn't what you've done before. This isn't what your parents, your family, your friends have done. This is you. What are 50 things that you want in the next 10 years? We're gonna take 10 minutes in this. So take your time, but at the same time, make at least that list of 50 things. Maybe it's places you want to travel to. Maybe it's some sort of charitable work. Maybe it's, Jim Rohn says it in one of his recordings, having a home in every season. When I first heard that, I put that in my book. Taking your family somewhere. Maybe it's a trip on your own somewhere. Escaping a little bit from life. Connecting with that inner self that drives you. I'll let you be. And I'm gonna write my own as well. Oh, and really quick, when you're writing them down, make like a list up to down, not side to side. I'm gonna do something right afterwards with this as well. If you feel stuck, this is where those blind spots start to show up. Specifically in philosophy. Have you allowed yourself to think big, expansive, transformative? Have you given yourself the permission to realize that you are a human being? Human evolution, life evolution, the universe has gotten to this point so that we're all here. You have a perfect body that day in and day out, second per second, keeps itself in balance. That's no mistake, that's no secret. It just happened. And that's you. So allow yourself to think big, beyond what you normally know. Don't stop writing, just write. Don't get too much in your mind. Don't think too much about it. When you're thinking, you start to forget your danger. Just allow your heart. Take in a few deep breaths. Step into your heart. And ask yourself, what do I want? What do I really want? What is going to light me up today? If I look ahead and everything worked out perfectly, where am I? What am I doing? Who am I with? Do I know a different language? Do I know multiple different languages? Am I playing an instrument? Expand. We have about 4 minutes left. You have the paintbrush of your life ahead of you. What is your life? Got 3 more minutes. Come on. Step into your heart. Ask yourself what I want. What am I excited about to create? What am I looking forward? Got 2 more minutes. One more minute. Step into your heart. almost done here for now. And now, time is up. If you caught yourself at points in time wondering, maybe you were stuck, maybe you couldn't think of any more, again, this is where the transformation starts to take place. You start to really realize what's the philosophy that's been driving my life up until now. Let's move on. From here now, we have this list of goals, this list of things that we're looking to create. Label each one of them 1, 3, 5, or 10. What this means is, how many years will it take you to accomplish that goal? Will it take you 1 year? Will it be 3? Will it be 5? Will it be 10? If you were to put yourself in the absolute best action with the right attitude, with the right philosophy, how long will it take you to get that result? And just label it. You don't have to know, but if you just were to speculate, if you were to just put a number on it, how long right now would you say it would take you to accomplish that goal? We're going to take deep breaths. This is your personal creation. We got 1 more minute. Cool. Now you start to take a look at that there, and you may start to wonder, I have a lot of 1-year goals, and I have barely any 10-year goals. You start to realize, maybe I'm thinking too short term. Maybe it's the other way around. You have a ton of 10-year goals and barely any 1-year goals. Are you in the sky dreaming without actually putting a right framework, putting the right structure, setting yourself up powerfully to accomplish that? You start to realize, what am I focusing in on? Short term, long term. Ultimately, what you want to create, you're going to have a balanced set of goals. If you want to have X goal year 10, how am I going to get there? Working backwards, year 5, year 3, year 1. How did I create that? You don't have to know how right now. It's not about the how. It's just about the what. The next exercise, take the 4 goals in the first year. So what are the goals that you're going to create in the next year that had a number 1 to them? What are the 4 main of those 1-year goals? And now we're going to start to throw wood in the fire. What are the reasons? What are the reasons for those goals to be accomplished, to be fulfilled? We're again throwing up that inspiration for we as humans. What are the reasons for those year 1 goals? Year 1 goals, 4 main ones. Start to stoke the fire here with these reasons. Reasons make the difference. As many reasons as possible. Got 2 more minutes for now. Remember to breathe. Something powerful when we step into our bodies again. Feel those reasons. Experience them now. Feel that reason for that goal being accomplished, moving you forward. And all right, for now, time's up on that section. I would recommend moving forward with this thing. You do this workshop for an hour yourself. Now, let's take one of the goals, that one goal that you chose already. Well, from the 4, what's the one goal? What's the one goal that right now would be the catalyst to move you forward the most? This is like, as Kenneth says, the domino. What's the domino? What's gonna shift everything up? What's gonna be the one that's gonna prompt you? It's gonna challenge you. It's gonna create a different you. You don't have to know right now what that you is. Step outside of what you know. What actions do you have to take right now to accomplish that goal? 2 minutes. And if you have to think about one action for you to take today, at some point before the day's over, doesn't have to be anything big. It could be something as simple as reaching out to somebody. It could be as simple as doing some research on a topic. Whatever it may be, what is a small action? Because small hinges, move big doors. What is that small action you can take today? And time's up on that. And finally, what right now is missing in order for you to accomplish this goal? This can also start to open up what's that action that you can take today. What's missing for yourself? Are you missing a structure? Are you missing the right support from the people around you? Are you missing the right information? Are you missing a clear roadmap? What's missing? And as you start to see what's missing, what you also want to also be looking for is who must you become in order to accomplish that goal. Life is going to do its thing. The wind will blow. But who must you become in order to now move towards that goal, accomplish that goal? I'm gonna do shorten on this one more minute. Great. On to the final step of this. You have a framework now. And in that framework, we got to remember it's a practice. This isn't going to happen consistently. And this is going to be a whole other training at a different time, because this is going to start to drive you. It's going to start to move you. In the exercise that we just did, you'll start to see for yourself, what is the philosophy that I have? What is my attitude towards the actions that I need to take? How am I right now moving myself forward? What kind of activity am I taking? What results do I have? From there, what lifestyle I have? As we see this circle, we want to start to take a look at number one, what's the potential you have? As I mentioned before, you're a human being. We've already gotten to the most we can. You have opposable thumbs. You have a brain that works faster than any computer that we know. You have bifocal eyes. All of this has been in creation for a long time. The potential that we have is unknown. And that's why we hold ourselves back. From the potential, we start to drive the action. The action is going to generate a certain result, and that certain result will shape your belief. If you can start to take the potential that you have right now, taking an action that's different than what you've done before, you'll get different results, which will also reshape the belief. And it's a consistent cycle. It's a consistent cycle. It's a practice. This exercise just now may have been the first time you actually sat down and went through something like this. That's perfect. That's okay. That's amazing. I acknowledge you all for going in and actually doing the work. Most people don't want to take the time. They'd rather have the people around them telling them what to do. This is not us. We're here to choose the kind of life we're looking to live for our families, for ourselves, for our legacy. What are we going to leave behind? Because the reason for extending your reach as much as possible, as much as you possibly can, is not so you can accumulate wealth and material things. The reason to do the absolute best you can is to see who you become in the process of doing so. And in that, you continuously reshape the way in which people around you are, the way in which your family is, and you can literally rewrite the way in which your generations to come are going to live their life. It comes down to us. It comes down to the actions that we take consistently. So there's the goal setting workshop, everybody. I'm going to share with the team. I created something probably 6 years ago. That whole thing that we just did was based on Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is a gentleman who Scott mentions consistently from time to time. And his philosophy of life, his training that he does is incredible. When I first started getting into personal development, I hated it. I thought, personal growth, that's weird. I'm not going to do that. But my mentor said, if you're looking to achieve something different, you got to become something different. So I started to look into personal development. I got myself into Jim Rohn. He connected with me the most. And I put together this music behind and I actually shared it before, but I'll share it again. Music behind him going through a bunch of his talks. And through that consistency of listening, my thinking, my philosophy started to get reshaped. I want to share with the team. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I don't want to take much more of your time. I know that we're busy. This is obviously recorded. Everybody will have access to it. I'll also put the slideshow as well in the team chat Slack thread. I would recommend take an hour and just do an hour on the goal setting workshop. Do it with your family. For you guys that have children, get them to think beyond of what they think is possible. If I wish I knew something like this when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, oh my goodness. It's okay. It's perfect. I'm 29 and it's whole and complete. So take the time. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate you. Have a phenomenal rest of your Friday. And we'll see each other in a little bit for the ones that have the CSM call. For everybody else, I'll see you Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.